It's 11:47 at night and you're staring at the ceiling again. Your body is heavy, but your brain won't stop talking. You already tried the tea. You already tried lying very still and pretending. Tonight, we're going to fix that. No pills, no gadgets, no fancy tracker. Just your bedroom, your body, and a few small changes that actually work. You know that quiet frustration of watching the clock tick past midnight. You know the little bargain you make at 1 a.m. If I fall asleep right now, I can still get 6 hours. That bargain never helps. But there's a reason your brain won't shut off, and it's simpler than you think. Here's the honest part. Most people aren't broken sleepers. They're just running a daytime life that quietly sabotages the night. We're going to unwind that gently, starting with one tiny thing you can do in the next 10 minutes. And later I'll tell you the step most people skip, the one that changes everything. Let's start with what's really going on when you can't sleep. Your body has a natural rhythm that rises and falls across the day. In the morning, it wants light and movement to wake you up. At night, it wants dimness and quiet to wind you down. The problem is, modern life flips that on its head. We spend our mornings indoors, staring at small screens in dim rooms. Then at night, we sit under bright ceiling lights and scroll bright phones. Your body reads that as still daytime and holds off on getting sleepy. So the first shift isn't a pill or a gadget. It's giving your body the signals it's been missing. Here's your first tiny win. Do this tomorrow morning. Within the first hour of waking up, get outside for 5 minutes. No sunglasses, no phone in your face, just stand there with your coffee. Natural morning light is the single strongest signal that starts your sleep clock for that night. It sounds too simple to matter, and that's exactly why most people skip it. But this is one of those quiet habits that pays you back 14 hours later. Now, let's talk about the evening, because that's where most of the damage happens. Somewhere around sunset, your body wants the world to get dimmer. Instead, we usually turn on every light in the house. Then we add a laptop, a phone, and a TV on top of that. Your brain reads all that brightness as the sun is still up. So try this tonight. Pick one room and go low light after dinner. Turn off the overhead light. Use a lamp instead. If you have warm bulbs or a dimmer, even better. You're not trying to sit in the dark. You're just letting your body notice that the day is ending. Here's a reframe that might land. Feeling wired at 10 p.m. isn't a personality trait. It's usually a lighting problem in disguise. Once you see it that way, it stops feeling like a flaw in you. Now, about your phone. I'm not going to tell you to throw it in a drawer at 8 p.m. That advice never survives real life. But there's a middle path that actually works. Pick a last scroll time, say 30 minutes before bed. After that, the phone goes face down across the room on a charger. Not on the nightstand, because the nightstand is a trap. If it's within arm's reach, you will grab it at 2 a.m., and you know it. The distance is the whole trick. You're not relying on willpower. You're just making the lazy choice the good choice. Now let's talk about the thing most people get wrong about bedtime. They treat going to bed as one single moment. Lights off, eyes closed, sleep, go. But your body doesn't work like a switch. It works like a dimmer. You need a runway, not a cliff. So build yourself a wind-down window, about 30 to 60 minutes before sleep. In that window, the rules are simple. Softer light, slower pace, nothing urgent. That's it. That's the whole ritual. It could be a shower, a book, some stretching, tidying the kitchen in silence. The activity matters less than the shift in speed. You're telling your nervous system, we're done for today. If you're the kind of person who answers emails right up until you brush your teeth, this one change alone can transform your nights. Here's a small but powerful one: the temperature of your room. Your body naturally cools down a little as it falls asleep. If your bedroom is too warm, it fights that process the whole night. You'll toss, kick off the blanket, and wake up at 3 a.m. wondering why. A cooler room, generally on the crisp side, works with your body instead of against it. You don't need to freeze, just air cooler than you think. A cracked window, a fan, lighter bedding, small moves, big returns. Now the racing mind. This is the one people ask me about most. You lie down and suddenly your brain remembers every awkward conversation from 2014. There's a reason for this, and it's not that you're weird. All day your mind is busy handling inputs, work, messages, decisions, noise. The moment you lie down, the noise stops, and the backlog finally gets a stage. So here's the tactic. Give the backlog a stage earlier. 10 minutes before bed, get a notebook. Write down everything bouncing around in your head. Tomorrow's tasks, the thing you forgot to reply to, the worry you can't name. You're not solving any of it, you're just parking it. Once it's on paper, your brain stops guarding it so tightly. It's a small ritual, and it works surprisingly well. Tell me later which of these you're trying first. I'm always curious which one clicks. Let's talk about caffeine, because we have to. I'm not going to tell you to quit coffee. You close this video in 3 seconds, and honestly fair. But here's the piece most people don't realize. Caffeine can linger in your system for many hours after that last sip. That afternoon coffee at 3 p.m. is still partly with you at 9 p.m. So the fix isn't giving it up, it's moving earlier. Try making your last caffeine of the day a morning-only thing for 1 week. Just 1 week. See what happens to your nights. Most people are quietly shocked. Now for alcohol, which gets a special mention because of how sneaky it is. A drink in the evening feels like it helps you fall asleep. And it kind of does, at first. But it tends to break up the deeper, more restful part of your sleep later on. You wake up at 4 a.m., wired, and wonder why. You don't have to give it up. Just notice the pattern. Earlier and lighter usually treats your night better than later and heavier. Here's a reframe worth sitting with. Good sleep isn't something you chase at bedtime. It's something you set up all day long. The morning light, the afternoon caffeine cutoff, the evening dimming, the wind-down window, these are the real sleep tools. The bed is just where the results show up. Once you see it that way, I can't sleep starts to feel less like a mystery. Let's talk about movement, because it belongs in this conversation. You don't need a gym membership or a running habit. You just need your body to feel like it did something today. A 20-minute walk after lunch counts. Some stretching while your kettle boils counts. Bodies that move during the day sleep better at night. It's almost that simple. But there's a timing thing worth knowing. Intense workouts right before bed can leave you buzzing when you want to be settling. If evening is your only window, gentler is usually kinder to your sleep. Now here's the step I promised earlier, the one most people skip. Ready? Consistency. Same bedtime, same wake time, most days of the week, including the weekend. I know, weekends are sacred. But sleeping in until noon on Sunday is basically flying yourself into a different time zone every 7 days. Then Monday feels like jet lag and the whole week starts on a slope. You don't have to be rigid. Just try to keep your wake time within about an hour, 7 days a week. That one boundary does more than any fancy pillow or app ever will. Your body loves rhythm. Give it one and it rewards you. Let's talk about the bed itself for a second. Not the mattress, the relationship. If you spend hours in bed scrolling, working, watching, worrying, your brain starts to associate the bed with being awake. That's a problem you don't want. The fix is to protect the bed for 2 things only: sleep, and if you're partnered, romance. That's it. No laptops, no doom scrolling, no stressful phone calls under the blanket. When you keep the bed sacred, your brain gets the memo. We lie down here, we sleep here. Falling asleep gets easier because the location itself is a cue. Here's a small tactic for the nights when sleep still won't come. If you've been lying awake for more than about 20 minutes, don't stay there stewing. Get up, keep the lights low, do something boring in another room. Read a dull book, fold laundry, sit quietly with a glass of water. When you feel drowsy, go back to bed. You're teaching your brain that the bed is for sleep, not for fighting sleep. It feels counterintuitive, but it works. Now let's touch something people rarely bring up: the story you tell yourself about sleep. If you go to bed thinking, I'm going to have another terrible night, your body listens. Anxiety about sleep is one of the biggest thieves of sleep. So try softening the story. Even if tonight isn't perfect, my body knows how to rest. I've slept before, I'll sleep again. Small internal sentences. Real effect. You're not lying to yourself. You're just stopping the preemptive panic. Here's a comforting truth. One rough night is not a disaster. Bodies are resilient. One tired day won't undo you. What matters is the pattern across weeks and months, not any single night. Take the pressure off, and sleep tends to come closer, not farther. Let's pull a few small anchors together because you can start any of these tonight. Morning light within the first hour of waking. Last caffeine before noon or at least earlier than usual. Dim the lights when the sun goes down. Phone across the room, not on the nightstand. A short wind-down window with softer light and slower pace. A cool bedroom, a brain dump notebook, a consistent wake time. You don't have to do all of them. Pick one, try it for a week. Then stack another. Sleep improvements are small hinges that swing big doors. Now, an honest word before we wrap up. If your sleep is deeply disrupted for weeks, or you're waking gasping, or you feel exhausted no matter what you try, please talk to a doctor. Everything in this video is general wellness, not medical advice. Some sleep issues are worth a real professional's eyes, and there's zero shame in that. Getting help is a strong move, not a weak one. Okay, here's your gentle homework for tonight. Pick 2 things from today. Maybe it's the phone across the room and the notebook by the bed. Maybe it's the dimmer light after dinner and an earlier caffeine cutoff. 2 small moves. That's it. Your first night might not be magic, but give it a week. You'll start noticing you fall asleep a little faster. You'll notice you wake up feeling more like yourself. And slowly, quietly, sleep will stop feeling like a battle. It'll just be something your body does again, the way it always could. If this helped even a little, hit that subscribe button so we can keep hanging out. Like the video if you're planning to try one of these tonight. And leave a comment telling me which one you picked. I read them. Sleep well, be gentle with yourself. I'll see you in the next one.